Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 8 of season 3 of the F124 driver career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the duel in the Formula 1 crown. It's Ferrari's Monegasque driver versus the man that maybe rather stupidly now calls himself Mr. Monaco inside F124. We are back, ready for the Monaco Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday from Imola, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Tempers are certainly beginning to flare within the Ferrari organisation. Contact between myself and Charles Leclerc on the road, and then a gearbox failure after that really did ruin our weekend. We've now got a 64-point deficit to our teammate at the top of the table, but surely, as we return to these Monaco streets, you know, this is a track I love. It's a track I've had terrible luck at on inside F124 so far, but if we want to try and get our championship hopes back on the right track, surely today we need to deliver.
It's the jewel in the crown. Simply put, there is nowhere quite like Monaco, and it's all about finding your groove from the beginning of the very first practice session here at the tightest and twistiest circuit of them all.
Well, here we are then returning to these most famous of streets in the world of Formula 1. And obviously a weekend where Ferrari want to make sure they are back on the top step of the podium. Max Verstappen got his second win of the year last time out at Imola. Admittedly, there wasn't a lot we could really do about that. I think we did have the pace to win, and we had the mechanical failure from the lead of the Grand Prix. It was just really about how well the team were going to be able to manage Charles and I as that race went on. But yeah, Max Verstappen obviously now ahead of me in the championship as well. Admittedly, I'd like to hope, for our own sake, that him and Charles will struggle with reliability issues at some point over the course of the year. But yeah, 64-point deficit at the moment for ourselves. That is a big margin to try and overhaul. Luckily, obviously the longest calendar in Formula 1 history, there is plenty of time to try to do so. To make our way then through the final couple of corners here to finish off our first lap here of anger. It is going to be hopefully a purple score to kickstart the weekend. I'm going to try and get all the other practice programs sorted, but I'll see you guys in qualifying.
Not all qualifying sessions are created equal. From the moment that a driver sits in a go-kart, they want to end up here, in the pit lane, ready and raring for qualifying at the Monaco Grand Prix.
As Alex Jakes then mentioned in the intro, no qualifying session is as good as the one here from the Monte Carlo streets. And as we make our way out into Q1, I want to leave nothing to chance this weekend. On what I'm intending to do this season, I've mentioned it a couple of times, is starting on the mediums ready for Q1, just to allow the pace to slowly ramp up. And normally it means we can carry an extra set of soft compound tyres throughout the rest of the weekend. I'm going to try that again today, but there is no guarantee around this circuit that we're going to see ourselves into Q2, especially not when I do that. I would like to make the argument that Imola was probably one of my most underrated qualifying performances so far inside this game. We really did get the lap hooked up in the end and half a second clear of anybody else. I'd love to do the same here, but yeah, normally the margins are never as big as we make our way through the final corner. In a little bit of a sloppy first lap, to be honest. It's not even going to be into the 9s. We only go P11, so immediately the pressure is on. Well, we certainly are on a bit of a back foot then at the moment. Is everybody making their way out ready for their final Q1 run? The time we set might be good enough, but like I said, I just do not want to risk it around this circuit. And also Charles seems to be struggling a little bit. 4 tenths away from Max Verstappen at the front of the field. So I think, yeah, everybody on a desperate push to try and improve towards the end of the session. McLaren are another team. Oscar Piastri P10, Lando Norris down in 13th place right now. So immediately, kind of the magic of Monaco is starting to confuse drivers and teams. Often you find that, yeah, a team that is normally quick isn't quite so, you know, powerful here. And other times you get some real surprises. Yeah, we are right on the cusp at the moment, but hopefully we're going to find time, especially throughout the second half of this lap, as we try and attack the curves through the chicane. 1.5 tenths up. Leclerc now has seemingly improved down onto a 109.3 to go fastest so far here in Q1. Are we going to be able to get close enough to our teammate there out of the final corner? This should be a safe improvement to see us through. Lando Norris might be out in Q1 here at the Monaco Grand Prix. Well, taking a look then, though, Norris able to improve there right towards the end of the session as well. So Charles Leclerc 4/10 clear of myself in that first session. The top 10 cars covered by less than half a second. But in the end, it was both Kick Saubers, Ollie Behrman, Yuki Tsunoda and Hulkenberg out in Q1. Albon making it through. Both V-Carbs making it through for the first time in a while. We are slowly bringing up the pace as we get towards the end of Q2. But ideally, we want to try and make sure that we make it through into Q3 on just a single set of tyres. We really want to carry 2 fresh sets of tyres into that final session. So we're going to need a mid to low 109 here. Have we got the out-and-out pace to even challenge our teammate? We've got to just continue to build up confidence in the car. At the moment, it's definitely quick, but it feels twitchy, it feels nervous as we try and open up these streets. Unlike the real-life Ferrari, this one really doesn't feel like it wants to sit over the bumps quite flat either at the moment. We are purple through Sector 2 as we make our way through. Yeah, it's really bobbling around over the curbs there, just skim the wall as we make our way through the exit of the swimming pool chicane, power down, and then just hold it nice and steady through the final couple of corners, up towards the line. Watch the time slowly tick by. On 109.4, we go within half a tenth of Perez, but it is only good enough for P4. And there we go, a new challenger approaches as well. 2 new challengers, in fact. George Russell and Fernando Alonso now getting onto the party as well. 0.08 of a second covering the top 6 at the end of Q2. 0.4 of a second covering the top 10. McLaren seemingly really lacking pace here. Oscar Piastri down in P14. But, I mean, this is anybody's game. Well, it only takes 1 lap around these streets to put yourself in the Monaco history books. And hopefully, that lap is just 70 seconds away out of the final corner then. Ready to start our first lap in anger here in Q3. McLaren, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, all in the fight. I'm not though with lines like that. Immediately nudge the front wing.
Taking some minor damage.
Hopefully we're still going to be able to give ourselves a good benchmark, but this car is just not providing me with confidence at the moment, not providing us with what feels like a stable and predictable platform. It is all over the show. I wish there was an element of RNG in qualifying as well. You know, occasionally the AI could come out and stack it or something like that, just to really add to the excitement around a track like this, because strategy is really, really important around this venue. Even in qualifying, things can be wildly unpredictable. So making our way, though, through the final corner, up towards the line again. It's going to be a decent benchmark, I feel. The second half of the lap was quite tidy. We go P5, but we know there is more in it. And everybody out then for their final runs here in qualifying. If things were to end right now, it would be the closest Monaco qualifying ever. Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc have set identical times at the top of the order. We're looking close to a 1 minute 8 second lap time here, but are we going to be able to try and get anywhere near either of them? We find a bit more time through turn 1. We don't nudge the front wing this time round as well, so hopefully that is going to allow us to carry extra speed throughout the rest of the lap there. I mean, we've just got to go for it. You've got to hang it all on the line and hope the car sticks. Purple through sector 1 this time round as we tip the car down into the hairpin. Try to just clip that rear wheel on the apex curb, but allow the front to bite as well there, right up to the wall as you make your way through Portier. Every corner around this circuit has a story to its name. Every corner around here as Verstappen improves again onto a 109 flat. We really chucked the car into the chicane there. I thought we might just nick the inside wall. 1 more sector to go though after we navigate to back. And I can't afford to look at the time right now. They take way too much curb through the entry of the swimming pool chicane. That really affects my rhythm through the exit as well there. Oh, and so close to the inside wall again. Through Larascas as well, but out of the final corner, up towards the line, we're going to be up by 4.5 tenths. Is it good enough for pole? Is it good enough for pole? It's not. It's P4. Damn it, man. I thought we'd done enough. Well, 5 cars covered by less, well, basically 1/10 of a second come the end of qualifying here, but it is Max Verstappen on the pole, ready for the Monaco Grand Prix. And had we just got the Rascas a bit better, had we got the swimming pool chicane just a little bit better, another 6/100ths of a second was the difference. It's P4 on the grid though. Verstappen claims another pole position this season, but will that prove critical as we head into the Grand Prix?
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but we still race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There is no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The prestigious Circuit de Monaco then is not all that dissimilar today to the layout that made its debut almost a century ago. It's 2 miles and 19 corners through the streets of Monte Carlo, and although the average lap speed of around 93 miles per hour is the lowest of the season, the tiny margins for error make it the natural habitat of the safety car. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid we have Russell, Mr. Monaco, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Hamilton, Norris, Ocon, Stroll, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Ricciardo, Joe, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Behrman, Vesti, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Well, we welcome you to the broadcast. It's going to be some race today. First of all, introductions. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this one, Anthony Davidson. I love this moment in the weekend. Put us in their shoes right now. What are they feeling on the grid?
You've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
Right, this track needs a lot of downforce, so we won't have as much top speed. The good news though is that it's going to make our DRS even more effective than normal. Try to make the most of it in the race and quali if you can.
Bit late to tell us about qualifying, Mark, and clearly he's not aware of just how ridiculously short the DRS zone is around this circuit as well. It is really, really tricky to make overtakes today, so that's why we're going to try and start on the soft compounded tyre, see how far we can take them. Maybe we can undercut, maybe we've just got to try and go soft to medium or something different to give ourselves a fighting chance. Ferrari, 2nd and 4th on the grid. Red Bull, 1st and 5th on the grid. George Russell getting in the way of it all in the middle there. We're ready, though, for the Monaco Grand Prix. The one they all want to win. We've got a couple of drivers on the hards. It is going to be 5 red lights here on the grid. And it's lights out, and away we go there. Russell actually responds really well. So does Sergio Perez. As we make our way down in towards turn 1, though, look at Leclerc. clean around the outside of Max Verstappen. And the perfect start for our teammate then. Able to capitalise on the Dutchman on his harder tyres, as we're going to try and look right around the outside of George Russell in that Mercedes car as well. Can both Ferraris gain a place on lap 1? Almost banging wheels with our fellow Brit, but down the inside into Upper Mirabo will go there, and that is critical at the start of this race. And well, how many times have I said it before? I'll say it once again. Of course, your top 3 in the championship, your top 3 on the road there, but a dream start for Charles Leclerc, who goes round the outside of turn 1 to take the lead of his home Grand Prix here at Monaco. Already Russell seems to be struggling slightly, perhaps under some extra pressure from Sergio Perez a little bit further back, but we've just got to try and settle in and stay out of trouble here. We can't watch though if Leclerc gets too far away. It might be already that we're trying to look for a move on Max Verstappen here. We've got to get these top compound tyres fired up, and we've got to try to use the advantage we've got, not use it to put the front end of the car in the wall down at La Rasca. So we've survived lap 1, 38 more to go. We know the Tyrell Delta can play such a big impact around here.
Now that you're in the wake of the car ahead, try to get past as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's easier said than done around this circuit, Mark. But yeah, the undercut we know as well can be super, super powerful around this place. I just want to try and get around Verstappen nice and early on. Not so we can try and attack Charles, but just so we can just keep an eye on him in this race. I don't want him just to pull away too far, and then we're kind of left with no hope to get with him by the end of the afternoon. Are we going to be able to get a run out of that final corner? Verstappen's doing a very good job getting those hard tyres working early on. Nowhere near close enough that time as Leclerc, 8 tenths faster. But already then, we're just having to try and settle in behind Max Verstappen early on. No real point in trying to just lean on him if you're not going to be able to get anything for it. Otherwise, you just cook the tyres and then you struggle even more. I could be tempted to try and box early and go for an undercut, but I guess it would really depend on slower traffic further back. There are gaps opening up. Russell and Perez are starting to spread out a little bit further behind me. But yeah, the undercut can put you at even more risk if you end up out in traffic. So the other thing that's really worrying me early on is just how much of a gap Charles pulling away. That gap's still opening up by a good 6 or 7 tenths a lap.
They're holding us up now, so let's please try and get past as soon as possible and get on with our race. Push, push.
Yeah, that seems about right. Team man telling me I've got to try and get the jump on the Dutchman. If I could, I would have already done it, I promise you. Well, the other thing that's making me a little bit nervous as we start lap 9.
Grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
There's exactly that. We have absolutely cooked this first set of tyres. I'm not saying a 2-stop's going to be the viable way to go, but I think we're definitely going to have to box pretty soon and try to undercut ahead of Max Verstappen. I mean, sensibly, early on this season. Yes, I still absolutely want to believe we've got a title fight on our hands, but we just want to take a risk that could throw us up to the lead of the Grand Prix here. And at the moment, by staying out on these softs, that is not going to happen. Yep, end of lap 9, we are making the call. We are boxing in very, very early, but onto a set of the medium compounded tyres.
We've got to focus on the pit stop.
Yeah, we've just got to try and do something here that will give us a chance. For some reason, I can never get the purple score here at Monaco either, and that's not going to help. 5.5 second pit stop. Are you having a laugh, team? I mean, that is the most Ferrari thing we have ever had inside this game so far. Never mind all the mechanical issues. And we might have been out ahead.
I know it's not ideal, but let's try and put it behind us and finish the race strong. Alright, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy.
Well, we might have been ahead of at least a couple of cars here, but we have come out right at the rear of the field. We've got a set of mediums, though. If we can get to the end, then we're certainly going to try. But we've got to start making some moves. Problem as well sometimes you find here at Monaco is that if you actually box too early, you haven't got a big enough margin.
They haven't pitted yet, so don't waste time fighting them. They're going to be coming in soon.
Yeah, we've got to not waste time, but we've got to try and make moves happen to stop us fighting them. Down the inside of Ollie Behrman will go. It was a little bit ragged, but it's done. Well, it is a shame to see both of the rookies here really, really struggling this season. Fred Vesti, he's got Pierre Gasly right up his gearbox down through the hairpin. I'm going to try and throw off the Frenchman's lines ever so slightly. See if we can make something happen, just like we did with Ollie Behrman last lap.
Make use of the overtake button and see what you can do.
Yeah, that Haskell on a set of the hard compound tyres should be quite easy pickings here early on. Don't have to go anywhere near as aggressively. Oh, Gasly though, I mean, we were through. We were comfortably through. He just desperately tried to hold the car around the outside there. So we make our way then out of the final corner. You'd hope Ferrari would be on the radio trying to tell some of these other drivers to get out of the way. I'm not saying that Ferrari can install team orders elsewhere, but I'm sure there are deals in place at one point or another.
Car behind, really good stuff.
We are carving our way back through quite nicely. Pace seems decent in the car. We have got to look after this set of tyres better. There's a lot of cars still to navigate. Well, we've just overtaken the man that replaced me down at Haas. Now it's probably fair that we overtake the man that we replaced down at Alpine there. I tried to have a bit of a lunge. I didn't actually think Yuki would give me the space, so we backed out of it, and he did kind of give me the room. Down the inside. Nope, not happening again. Oh, we are filling his mirrors, but Yuki Tsunoda is not one to back down from a fight if he doesn't have to there. Sometimes you can throw the AI off slightly through the hairpin. They seem to be a lot better at it this year, though, so still just rubbing up against the walls in a couple of places. Really not ideal, but when you've got the car advantage, when you've got the power advantage inside F124, it is glorious.
Good job.
Team loving that. And now, next up then, is my former teammate in Hulkenberg. Well, he should have also mentioned, of course, with Tsunoda, that he obviously won this race last season, as around the outside of the Hulk will go. Oh, I think he just tagged the inside wall there. I know I had to give him plenty of space. Around the outside through the final couple of corners. E15 now. I don't really know if we're gaining anything on Charles. I mean, the big one is obviously, can we undercut Verstappen? We've now got another former Monaco Grand Prix winner. Next up on the old hit list, it's not Zhou Guanyu. That would certainly be an interesting sight. It is Daniel Ricciardo, of course, won this race back in 2018 after the heartbreak of 2 years before that. But Are we going to be able to have a look down the inside of the Australian? Yes, we do. And again, the AI, they really do want to try and hook it up around the outside there. But none of them so far able to make it work. Zogran Yu then, our second Sauber car of the day. Oh, they are really, really struggling with the balance here. They've not got a good kart down the inside. Oh, I don't often like to make moves down the inside of the Rascas, but we'll do it. Look at that first lap in clear air, new fastest lap of the day. That is glorious here. Something that isn't glorious is the weekend Oscar Piastri's had so far. Really having a disappointing time in that McLaren right now. Lando Norris seems to be able to extract everything out of it. Oscar, though, hasn't down the inside at the top of the hill. I mean, every Monaco Grand Prix I seem to do ends up involving me having to make loads of overtakes around here. I would like one year just to have a fairly simple strategy race. But it doesn't seem to be the case. At least we're getting ourselves back up towards the points right now. There's Lance Stroll, I think, just beginning to struggle in that Aston.
Just focus on the driving.
Again, you can see how much traction we've got in this car there down the inside through the tunnel. Hopefully Lance backs out. Yes, he does. I'm sure Alex Albon would love to pick up some points for Williams here. It's been a slow start to the year.
Sensors, so I don't think you need to be worried. Just some bad data. So keep doing what you're doing. I'll let you know if we notice any genuine problems.
I hate it when they give you that message. I don't care. Just let me know if something actually wrong is going on with the car. But 3 places made up that lap. We are absolutely cooking at the moment. I reckon we could undercut the Verstappen still. Oh, come on then. We'll try and get another one. Esteban Ocon. A little bit slow. Down the inside into Upper Mirabel. Make sure we give him the room on the exit. Up into 9th place then. Oh, there we go. Charles Leclerc into the pit lane. So where are we going to come out relative to our teammate? I think he's still going to be out ahead of me here, to be completely honest. But I will be interested to see how big the gap is. Plus, if he gets held up behind some slower cars as well, and there could still be an advantage to be had. The AI, of course, they don't tend to like overtaking each other around this venue. As where is Leclerc then? Trying to make his way back out of the pit lane. He's a long way ahead of me still.
More control than ever over your EOS mode, so play around with them in your MFD.
How on earth could I forget that, Mark, when you tell me about it every other race? Leclerc, though, down to P5. He has come out in a hard tyre sandwich. And this can sometimes be the odd thing with the Monaco Grand Prix, because now it actually might be Verstappen with the upper hand. Oh, Leclerc, though, I think has gone into the back of Sainz, or almost went into the back of Sainz. One of them locked up. That was almost disaster, but we know, yeah, the hard tyre runners won't probably pit until about lap 20 to lap 25. So Leclerc might be a little bit bogged down here at the moment, down the inside of Hamilton. I think I mentioned it last season. I don't think he's ever actually been overtaken on track here at Monaco. It's happened again today. I mean, I'm sure this can't be comfortable viewing for Ferrari. Both their drivers now right on the road together, with one of their former drivers holding them up. Come on, we've got to try and find a way around Charles at the moment. Not doing lines like that, though, we won't. I want to try and out traction him somewhere. At least get alongside him. He's trying to do the same thing to Sainz. And the Spaniard there is just having to make that V-carb car as wide as possible for a season so far that has seen quite a few good one-lap performances. I think they kind of knew that Monaco was hopefully going to be a strong hunting ground for them. And boy, is it proven to be so far this weekend. Get the run, though, off of the swimming pool. Down the inside of our teammate for the potential race lead. We've made it. We've absolutely hooked it up there. Beautiful little move. Optimistic, but committed. I don't think there was really any contact made either.
And you're going to be on hards next time.
Sainz, that was aggressive down at turn 1. The Spaniard will keep the position. I wanted to make sure I didn't put him in the wall. We gave him back the place, but immediately we're going to go back for it. Down the inside we'll go. And we are up then into 4th place of the Monaco Grand Prix. Well, patience gets you nowhere, especially around a track like Monaco in the world of Formula 1.
1.9 seconds.
Effectively now, this is just, we've got to try and sprint away before the AI pit, and then assess whether we can afford to box again or not before the end of the afternoon. I mean, if we were to box now, obviously we'd come out probably about P5, P6. Verstappen's still got quite a healthy lead. I guess if he comes out ahead of Leclerc, we have to stay out and try to at least protect the win for Ferrari. Well, here we go then. It is moment of truth time. Will Verstappen be out ahead of our teammate here in the Monaco Grand Prix? Verstappen, it's going to be mighty close, I think. Leclerc finally has been given free track space. Well, I think the Dutchman's going to do it. Max Verstappen has overcut his way past Charles Leclerc in this Grand Prix, so the V-carb of Carlos Sainz really has worked out well for him. And now both Ferraris are seemingly positioned behind both Red Bulls, not for long in my case, as we go down the inside of Sergio Perez through the very next corner. He's not wanting to back out of it, though. First AI that we've already had who wants to give us a bit of a fight for the position. Perez doesn't want to back out. I don't want to back out. We will make it through, though. And up into P2, then. I'm sure we're going to see George Russell pit soon. But it might be now that we have to defend to the end of the afternoon. And I'll be honest, our tyres are not looking fantastic. There we go, Russell as well. 1 lap later, dives into the pit lane then. So at least he's at a lap of the Monaco Grand Prix this weekend. Has really brought the fight to Red Bull. Wait, why is... Oh, eh? Leclerc's definitely not pitting. I don't know who on earth they're talking about there. I'm guessing it's Perez or Russell. But into the lead we go then. Here at the Monaco Grand Prix. We've got 16 laps to try and hang on. And I'm still not convinced. Well, there is a bit of a weird glitch inside F124 when it comes to the new tyre wear physics. Although, obviously, yes, when you rub now against the walls, it actually increases the tyre wear. For some reason, it then doesn't give you any tyre wear until the tyres would have caught up to how warm they now are. I've had a couple of races recently where we've had like 60-70% wear, but then the tyres just don't move for a few laps, whilst like the wear catches back up. So it only really affects you if you bring them all the way to 100 and get a puncture, which I'm hoping obviously isn't going to be the case. It's happened to me before around these Monaco streets, but with 15 laps to go, we are just now trying to make this Ferrari as wide as possible. It's like Senna versus Mansell.
Safety car deployed.
Why have we got a safety car? Nico Hülkenberg's gone.
Informed of an incident which has resulted in lots of loose debris on the track. A safety car is being deployed.
Well, Nico Hülkenberg then clearly has gone for a spin somewhere, and again we get that weird, apparently Ferrari-only radio noise inside this game. I think it's a chance to pit, though.
Delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
We could re-emerge right behind Russell here. Sorry, ahead of Russell. I think he's boxed again. No idea what's happened. But yeah, we could afford to pit now and come out still right behind these two. We'd be on much fresher, much softer tyres, as there is Hülkenberg. I don't know if he's ghosted or not. I think he is. Well, let's ride on board then with Nico Hülkenberg here and just see what happened, what went wrong that brought out the safety car in this race, because it's a little bit confusing how he ended up where he did. Down through Portier we go. Everything's looking fairly normal. Just hit the inside wall. Was there another car that had span in front? I don't believe there was. Hülkenberg just slaps the inside wall for seemingly no reason. I can only assume he got confused because of something going on. And you can see there the Williams and his teammate both have to queue up. But Hülkenberg out of the Monaco Grand Prix in quite possibly the weirdest way I've ever seen on this game. And I think what happened was Russell obviously got held up behind the safety car as it made its way out the pit lane and tried to position itself somewhere near the road. And as we make our way through the final couple of corners, hopefully that's going to play into our hands. And we're going to be able to try and emerge still in P3 of this Grand Prix. Russell was not actually a million miles away in the end, so it might be just that we're ahead of Alonso.
Seems to have been a problem attaching the right front wheel. We need to try and put that behind us, though, and finish the race strong.
How on earth do they keep messing that up? This team, I'll tell you what, at the moment, I'm really, really wondering whether there's more sabotage going on than we realise, because that is so many times that's happened now.
Let's go.
But we're going to be on fresher, softer tyres to the end of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're lining up, restarting this one from P4. We look to be in the impossible position right now, but we have spent all day making overtakes around these streets. We've just got to try and make 3 more. We had a disadvantage on the tyres. We have gone and got rid of that. Verstappen, though, going for it nice and early here. He wants to try and spread out the front-running group as best as he can. And you can see Russell, he's got nothing at that final corner as well. The AI, their tyres aren't particularly badly worn out right now, but they have definitely got worse sets than us. Can we try and make an impact here in the final 10 laps of this Grand Prix? At the very least, another podium. I mean, but more than anything else, I want to win this race. Charles Leclerc wants to win this race. He watched Tsunoda win it last season and had to settle for P2. But it is Leclerc in the weakest position right now of these top runners, as well. Russell nudges the wall through Larascas, but he still obviously holds decent track position at the moment. Max Verstappen pulling away at the front. We've just got to try and find a way around George Russell a little bit further behind there, trying to avoid knocking the walls too often. As we get to the inside now of Georgie Boy at the top of the hill. We've made this move stick a couple of times before. The Mercedes driver's going to fight it more than most would. Side by side we go. Down the hill, Russell accepts that fight is over for him right now. Off of the podium, he'll go once again.
Okay, Charles ahead. Right, here we go. Let's look to get past quickly and put them on the back foot.
Surely, yeah, the team, if you were Ferrari right now, you'd be telling him, let me have a go. And if I can't get past Verstappen, I'll give it back at the end of the afternoon. Charles Leclerc, though, at his home race, certainly is not going to give me that kind of luxury. But he is on old, hard tyres. They are not feeling good, I'm sure. As we make our way then through the final corner, it's now going to be a traction race with us and our teammate at the final turn. Try and tuck up in the slipstream and get as close as we can. Nothing working for us that time round. Can we do what we did to George Russell just one lap ago? We know how pokey this car is in a straight line. Yes, we're going to look for it though, down the inside of our teammate, just like we tried with Russell.
Let's try and keep that going right through to the end of the race.
And up into P2 then of the Monaco Grand Prix. Lap 31 of 39. Verstappen has got a 2.5 second margin. Getting to him's easy. Getting around the Dutchman, that's a very different question. Well, Verstappen knows what is at stake here. He's won this race before, both IRL and inside F1 24. Took the inaugural Monaco Grand Prix victory back in Season 1, but 1.8 seconds that gap has come down to. We are pushing like mad. I've just got to try and get to him. We've made so many moves today, but this one I want to make more than any other. Well, so far our luck inside Monaco on F1 24 has been hilariously bad. From glitches to punctures, we've really had our fair share of heartbreak around this circuit. And obviously how many last lap battles we've seen so far this season. Only Imola hasn't seen drama on the last lap, and that was solely because I never got to the last lap of that Grand Prix. Could Monaco see another twist in this championship so far? Is Red Bull and Verstappen back, or was Imola just not quite a one-off, but maybe just a race that fell into their hands? Well, another fun stat so far this season, we've never, according to the game, finished in an even position come the end of an afternoon. Yes, we actually finished 4th at Suzuka, and I believe it was 6th at Miami. I just never noticed that the game glitched and took Sergio Perez completely out of that race. I would not want to finish 2nd here at Monaco. I mean, it would be 19 points on the board, but 26 sounds far better. 3 laps to go, though, of this race. Time is running out. Oh, Verstappen! Verstappen, how on earth did he save that? What on earth is that? Verstappen tried to spin out. He got way too heavy on the throttle there, but somehow uses the wall to keep the car straight. I have never seen the AI do that inside F1 24, and I don't believe he's picked up any damage from it or anything like that. So Verstappen has just cheated death late on in the day here from the Monaco Grand Prix, but are we still going to find any more opportunity? Is that a sign that his tyres are really starting to struggle towards the end of the afternoon? That is crazy. Verstappen is not comfortable on that set of tyres right now. He is really struggling towards the end of the afternoon, and with just a lap and a half to go, time is still running out for us. Is the Dutchman just going to be able to do enough here to claim his, I believe it'd be 3rd Monaco Grand Prix victory after 2021 and 2023, making our way down in towards the back. Oh, I mean, you can see how much we're trying to throw the car around at the moment. We're just putting it all on the line here late on in the day, nudging the wall on the exit. Oh, we could have had a look down the inside there, but it's not going to happen that time. We've just got to try and hang close to him out of the final corner. And once again, it looks like late race drama is going to be tied to us inside this series. One more lap to go of the Monaco Grand Prix. Our tyres are starting to give up. Normally the opportunity for a look at the inside at turn 3, that's not going to happen this time round, as we just have to watch the Oracle logos. Verstappen slides, we slide. We're just desperately trying to keep the car pointed in the right direction at this point of the afternoon. Locking up the rears again. Our one big opportunity is down into the chicane. If we could just hang close enough to the Dutchman through Portier. Oh, it's not going away from us. It's really starting to fall away here on the final lap of the race. And Verstappen, I don't want to speak too soon, but he might just be safe here in Monte Carlo after a crazy, crazy defensive drive late on. We take plenty of curb there just to try and hang close to the Dutchman. But in towards the final few corners we go of the Monaco Grand Prix. Are we once again just going to miss out there as we try and get close to the Dutchman? Not close enough to have a look again down the inside. Down at the Rascasse through the final corner. Verstappen is going to win it.
Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
And on the final corner of the Monaco Grand Prix, only just, do we nudge the wall on the inside of Anthony Noakes, and we are out of it. We're going to walk away with absolutely nothing. I am such a bottle job.
Out of the final corner for the final time, Max Verstappen takes the win.
And that's 2 wins in a row now. It's the start of potentially something special, but they can't get ahead of themselves just yet. It's a long way to go.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They've performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
I cannot believe we've done that at the end of the race. I cannot believe 39 laps we survived around this circuit, but still my impressive streak of not actually seeing the flag but getting classified here at Monaco continues. Max Verstappen takes the win ahead of Charles Leclerc and George Russell. I believe that might be the 3rd year in a row Charles Leclerc has finished runner-up around this circuit. Alonso, Norris, Sergio Perez, Ocon, Albon, Piastri and Carlos Sainz will round out your top 10 there, so lots of teams actually getting both drivers into the points. A very good recovery by McLaren, both of their cars moving up 4 places individually throughout the Grand Prix there, but it was just myself and our former teammate Hulkenberg that failed to see the flag. I'll be honest, if we did something like that IRL, you'd probably just try and get the car to the finish line on 3 wheels, or we would have caused a roadblock, or something would have happened at the end of that GP there. But heartbreak and 19 points thrown away right at the end of the afternoon there. Let's take a look at how that does to the championship standings. 50 points now, the gap between Verstappen and Leclerc, but we are 82 points back from our teammate. I mean, it's a tough learning year with Ferrari so far, but that is really, really painful early on in the campaign. It's now just Behrman, Zhou Guanyu and Fred Vesti left to score. As I believe, yeah, those are... Who is that? Esteban Ocon's first point of the year, isn't it? As well in his Alpine. Constructors-wise, we've got a 91-point lead still over Red Bull, but with Verstappen starting to pick up wins, we can really not afford to keep letting these races slide away from us. We'll be back very soon, I'm sure, ready for the Canadian Grand Prix. Boy, oh boy, I need another win.